It is Locked on Jazz for the 9th of January. Jazz Govenor Ryan Smith joins the show to talk about the first half of the season, the upcoming All-Star game, Donovan's return, and how fun is underrated. Plus, we'll break down the weekend that was in Chicago and Memphis. But Jazz Govenor Ryan Smith is next on Locked on Jazz. Pow!
You are Locked on Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
How are you? I'm David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz, Jazz NBA insider. This is Locked on Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Give you insight, expertise, geeky numbers, and the owner, the governor of the Utah Jazz today on the program. Couldn't be more excited for this, so let's get right to it. Thanks so much for making Locked on Jazz your first listen of the day. We are free. We are available on all podcasting apps, and we're also available on YouTube, so please subscribe. We do this every single day for 30 minutes to update you on your favorite NBA team. So please subscribe to any of those podcasting or on YouTube. Join the chat room. Comment on what Ryan has to say about things here on the program. I will break down Chicago and Memphis in the third segment, but let's get right to it. It's time to be joined by Utah Jazz Governor Ryan Smith. Talk about where the team is, All-Star Weekend, Donovan's return coming this week, and that fun is underrated. It's all here on Locked on Jazz.
Halfway point of the NBA season, and joined by Jazz owner Ryan Smith to talk about all things going on with the Jazz here on Locked on Jazz. Ryan, thanks so much for taking the time. And I remember opening night being on the floor with you, and there was a nervous energy of like, I don't know, it feels like it might be a little better than everyone says, and I'm not sure. How's your feeling now, 41 games into the season, rather than how it felt on opening night with that early nervousness?
Well, it's amazing how fast the season goes, but also how long it is, right? Where every week or every other week in the NBA, it feels like it's 6 months. But at the same time, we look up and we're like, whoa, that was just a couple months ago. So, I mean, look, there's a lot to love about Team 49. And, I think we were all asking, what do we have? We've got a new coach. We've got new players. We've got 9 players, I think, who hadn't played together. And it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it has been a lot of fun. I think our fan base sees that. We have a long way to go, obviously, but with Will Hardy, I think that we're pretty excited. He's only going to get better. The team's only going to get better. And we're excited. I think if I had one word to describe it, I think it's been pretty fun for everyone.
What has been most pleasing to you?
With the team?
Yep.
We made some big decisions, obviously, and one of the general premises of this was going younger, right? Trying to get more youthful. And I think just really Jazz basketball, that we've still been able to play what we all see as Jazz basketball, which is hungry, going after it, and just being in every game. I think there's only been 2 games this season where we have not been in it. I mean, we won last night, but, we easily could have been, have won 5 of the last 6 and been in a different spot. And I mean, it's the margin of victory in the NBA is small, whether it's, Tyler Hero making that, getting a rebound in Sacramento. It's you can just look at it every way. And it seems like it's becoming more and more in the NBA where the last 2 minutes of a game feels like an eternity, like being up 10 with 2 minutes left. There's nothing safe. And it seems like, I turned to my wife a couple different times as we're tied going into the fourth again. These are the games. And I think the fan base loves it.
I love Will Hardy the other night said, I asked about the final 5 minutes of the game. He goes, we love it. You love that. This is fun. This is what it's all about. So I think that's it. You mentioned it's been fast. Fast means that the All-Star game is here. It is right around the corner. What's the preparation going? How excited are you to be able to show off Salt Lake City and all of Utah?
Yeah, we haven't had the All-Star game here in 30 years. I remember as a kid rolling up there to jam session, and, you know, it's a big moment. It's a big moment for the state. All eyes will be here. I'll tell you straight up for everyone listening, people are coming. People are coming to Utah. I'm getting the emails. I'm getting the texts. I'm getting, multiple artists saying, hey, I want to perform. No, I want to perform. The NBA saying, hey, who should we choose? Everyone wants a spot. This idea of come and ski early in the week and then all-star in the latter half of the week. Like it's coming, but we're a different state than we were 30 years ago. I mean, you can't be one of the fastest growing states in the country that whole period and not be different. There's a lot more to do. And I think we're excited that we're doing a couple things that have been great. I mean, our team at the Jazz has been working on this nonstop. Community leaders, the entire, city of Salt Lake, mayor, governor, like everyone's really pushing and excited for this moment. But there's a couple things like that I would just point out. I remember as a kid, not obviously being able to go to the All-Star game or dunk contest or any of that, but I was able to go participate in All-Star weekend. And what they had back then was jam session at the Salt Palace, right? Where you could go in. It's basically a convention that's going on. And really Utah, we're a basketball state. If we can claim one thing, we are a basketball state. And we brought jam session back. I don't think it's been in the NBA for at least 5 years plus, where imagine a world where you go in and there's 25 basketball courts, there's legends, there's all sorts of games. I mean, if you play basketball, if you like basketball, or you want something to do Friday, Saturday, get to downtown, get to the Salt Palace, the convention center, and participate. You can get all the swag, and you can have that experience that I had where it's like you go to All-Star Weekend, and that's what it's about. It's about bringing communities together, and this is a massive, massive event that is involving so many different organizations. There's service projects. It's incredible, and as we kind of gear up here in the next month, you'll start to see a lot more about it.
I was trying to figure it out the other day. I was trying to think to myself, so Super Bowl, maybe a political convention, like if you had the Republican convention, and then I would think NBA All-Star game. That's probably the three that bring the nation and just everyone to your city. I wonder if we know, because it's been the length of time since the last time the All-Star game came, I'm not sure we actually realize what's about to happen in Salt Lake City and the energy and buzz that's actually going to exist.
No, the state is completely shorting this. They have no idea what's coming. And, we're going to get anywhere from 50 to 100,000 people here all weekend. It's not hey, we're popping in. It's go time. And I think it's super, super exciting. And what we're trying to do from the organization and those involved, our title sponsors, we want to create something for everyone. Everyone can go and participate at some level, not just the 18,000 that the NBA invites into for All-Star. So,
you have to get some of the owners up on top of Empire Bowl at Deer Valley, put them on the edge of a cliff and say, hey, it's going to cost you a first-round pick to get you off this. I know the route out, but it's going to cost you a first-round pick to get out of this.
Getting them up there will be tricky. There's a few that still have it, but they're excited as well. I mean, we're doing obviously it's a chance for the governors of teams, legends coming in. Celebrity All-Star game will be awesome. Dwayne and I are doing a bunch there. It's going to be great. There's the HBCU game that's going to be there. We're activating not only the Salt Palace, but Vivint and Huntsman up at the U. So there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot cooking.
And hopefully Lauri Markkanen will represent, as Walker Kessler, his campaign manager, got me my sweatshirt. So I'm hoping Lauri Markkanen will be representing the Jazz.
Lauri, I mean, he's playing unbelievably well. 49 last night. Are you kidding me? And it would. I mean, if there was an easy 49, that's what it looked like, right? I mean, it was good, and you just don't have 7-footers that can move and shoot and finish like he can, and I think he's only getting better. I think we all feel that way, and we're learning how to play, and he's learning how to be the guy, or one of the top options, and I think that both Danny and Justin and our work did a really good job on saying, hey, that's the guy we want.
That is Ryan Smith, and we'll continue with more with Ryan as we upcoming events of all that's taking place with All-Star Weekend. Some so exciting information there. We'll also talk to him more about Donovan, the team, Will Hardy's year, a little bit more basketball coming up. But big news there, jam session coming back. That'll be amazing. Something for everyone. I love his approach, kind of taking him back to his childhood of all that. So more coming up with Ryan Smith on Donovan, on the team, on Will Hardy's first year, on fun being underrated, and all. Today's show brought to you in part by Murdoch Hyundai, located at 4646 South State Street, also located in Logan and in Linden. The Hyundai car lineup, absolutely fabulous, from the Kona all the way up to the Palisade and the SUVs, to the North American Car of the Year last year, the Elantra and the Sonata in the sedans. And the Murdochs want to make sure that you have the ultimate experience with no regrets at all. So make sure you stop by Murdoch Hyundai, located at 4646 South State Street, or in Logan and in Linden. If you're going to stop by, please make sure that you hit me up first with an email at dlock09@gmail.com so I can make sure that I give you the best opportunity to get the VIP Locked On treatment with Murdoch Hyundai, located 4646 South State Street, Logan, and in Linden. Today's show also brought to you by TurboTax. Go to TurboTax and don't do your taxes. Meet with an expert, and we'll do them for you. TurboTax experts can relieve you of any of the stress of taxes and file so you don't have to. So you don't have to do your taxes. Show your eyes things that are not taxes. Unpack a moving box, or not taxes. Taste, not taxes. Sing, not anything but taxes. That's right. With TurboTax, 100% expert guaranteed. An expert will do your taxes from start to finish so you can relax. Feels good to be done with your taxes right now, doesn't it? Come to TurboTax and don't do your taxes. Visit TurboTax.com to learn more. Intuit's TurboTax, full-service products only video meeting while expert does your taxes required. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Thanks for making Locked On Jazz your first listen of the day. Please make Locked On Sports today your second listen. Now, more with Ryan Smith.
Tuesday's a pretty interesting night, considering with Donovan coming back, he's at the peak. He's 71, like, it's incredible. He has a bounce back to him. At the same time, here's Lauri, who is emerging 49 and becoming this new star. It makes, to me, Tuesday kind of an interesting night in Salt Lake, where you have these two guys who got traded for each other, and both are having just marvelous seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you how we view this as an organization. I mean, this is a massive celebration, and it should be for our fan base. I mean, you've got, we can't focus on, kind of the side or the vocal minority here, and social media is not a representation of our fan base. I have a lot of data to prove that's different. But Donovan, I love Donovan. He's amazing. 71 points. It's crazy what he's done for our state, our franchise. Every one of us should be celebrating. He was here 5 years, and truly, I believe that, we have a fan base who historically is hey, we're used to the Stockton Malone, how long people are here. It's not the NBA right now. And I think everyone needs to understand that, if you get 6, 7 years, 8 years out of one individual in one spot, you've won the lottery per se, because there is a step, but they're few and far between because contracts are shorter and everything's there. And us as a front office, we made a decision to make a change, given a whole bunch of other decisions we were making. It wasn't in isolation, and but Donovan's been nothing but amazing during that process and professional. And, I honestly believe 95% of our fan base not only are going to cheer, but like absolutely like love and adore Donovan. And I think we should be focusing on that celebration of him coming back. And then, focus on the future and Team 49 and everything that we're working on, and the celebration of Lauri and Malik and JC and as you mentioned, your campaign manager and Walker Kessler, like it's fun. I mean, Ochai last night with a career high, like that was incredible. But if you followed Ochai, everyone's kind of been waiting for that a little bit, and it takes a little while.
Let me go back to Don for just 1 second, because I've been starting to prepare for Tuesday, and I actually have 3 moments that come to mind. July 4th, Summer League, we're despondent, and he brings back hope like within an hour. New Orleans, his rookie year, career high at the time. It was like the moment you realized he was real, that we actually have a bona fide star. And then I go to the bubble. We were in a bad place as just people. It was hard. And he's dropping 50 in the bubble and let us forget what was going on around us. Those are the 3 to me where he really just left this. I mean, the Oklahoma City win is amazing his rookie year also. But those are the 3 moments when I think of Don's run, of why I'm going to be so thankful to him of what he did for us in Utah.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own leading us to the #1 record in the league. Like, we can't discount that. Like, that team, that group did something that hadn't been done here since, the Last Dance days, right? And we're just quick to forget a little bit. For me, like, as a sponsor at the time, like, we had just taken down the jersey patch, and we had made this move to go with Five for the Fight on the patch instead of Qualtrics, and he wins a dunk contest. And I remember there is like this moment where like it all happened so quickly, and like we should just celebrate. Like, if you're a hoops fan, like you've got to celebrate. Like, if you're not, like something's wrong. But like it should be a massive celebration, just like it is with Lauri, who's coming off what he did last night at 49. I mean, he easily could have had 50 or more. Like, that's the way it is. And so we're fortunate enough to be able to watch good basketball and be able to witness it and feel it when we need it.
As we look at Team 49 here a little bit, part of Team 49 is Will Hardy branding at Team 49, and Will Hardy putting his stamp on this franchise. What have you seen in the opening half of his first season as a head coach?
Well, let's start with Team 49. I think that I remember when Will came up with that, and he talked to me about that, and he talked to the team. Like, the reason this is a 49th year of the Jazz, and so next year is our 50th anniversary. But it's actually just shows who Will is. It's basically sitting down with a group of people who are all new and saying, like, we're not worried about Team 50. We're Team 49. And that's what we're going to control, and that's how we're going to operate. Where the whole world's telling them to worry about Team 50 and Team 51 and Team 52, and this is what the Jazz are going to do. And I love it. I love Will's energy. It's what stood out in the interview process when we were looking for a coach. It's contagious. His ability to understand people. We're definitely in the people business. And he's also wicked smart. And we're having fun with Will. Will's only going to get better. I mean, if you look at, he's been a head coach for 40 games almost. And I love it. I love sitting on the sideline when he's there and he walks by and tells one of my kids, hey, don't be surprised if Malik hits us in the corner, or JC catches a 3, or, a fist bump. Like, you have to be able to enjoy your job, and Will's definitely doing that. And we're trying to do our best to support Will in every way we can. But we have a really, really good group. I mean, this is Danny's first full year kind of in, and I like where we're headed, and I think people can feel that energy, and I think we're super fortunate.
Will has a great phrase he's used a lot, but my memory, I think we were in Atlanta, and it's about an hour before tip-off. He's walking through the locker room, and he's saying, fun is underrated in the NBA. fun is underrated in the NBA. To all of our conversations, I feel like that's what we have coming. It's so great. We've got Team 49 that's fun. We got a celebration Tuesday at Donovan, and we're going to have one of the most fun weeks of our lives with All-Star coming up. So fun is underrated. We got a lot of fun coming.
Yeah, it's for sure. Like, this can be a very stressful business. You have a lot of eyes on you. Expectations get high for either the right or the wrong reasons. You have people following you at all times, wanting to write. You have people who are trying to divide you. But at the end of the day, like, this is a game that individuals, and we all are blessed to be a part of it, that we'd probably do it for free. Like this is it, because we love, maybe not. I love the NBA.
I get a little nervous when my owner tells me I'm supposed to do it for free. I get nervous. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but we're super blessed. I mean,
I'm with you.
I spent, the majority of my career outside the NBA, and I paid to come and, be a part of it, both as a fan, but also is this. And so to be able to do this, like, you've got to have fun with it. You have to. And I mean, this is any job. Like, if you're not having fun, or you don't have the ability to have fun, or try to make it fun, it's going to burn you out. And the NBA is grueling. Like, the one thing I've seen just being on the inside now, like, it is hard because you're moving, you're traveling. Are you in Chicago? Is that where you're at now?
Yep.
I mean, last night you were in Houston, weather, plane delays, like, you name it, like, and then it's get ready to go. And the season can get hard. And if you're not taking a second to smile, then, you're not probably going to last very long, or you're not going to enjoy the people around you, and they're not going to enjoy you. And so as a leader, you need to find ways to charge your batteries so that you can charge the batteries of others. And maybe Will's way of doing that is walking through and saying, hey, fun's underrated. Like, let's do that. And I mean, to be honest with you, I want every single player who comes to Utah to say that this was the happiest point of their career. The happiest. They were the happiest. I mean, wellness is a premium. Social media is getting harder for a lot of players. And the one thing we have is, like, this wellness, the mountains, the ability to get locked in, get focused. And that's one of our goals.
Well, Ryan, great to check base with you at the halfway point. Excited for the All-Star weekend. Excited for all that we have coming up, and thanks for the time today.
I still don't have my sweatshirt, so, like, I'm super jealous right now.
Well, we'll have to talk to Walker Kessler, the campaign manager, and see if he realizes. I'm gonna have to talk to him about the fact that Ryan Smith doesn't
wants
have
my vote.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great chatting with Ryan Smith. What a great pleasure to have that on the program. Thanks so much for the time to Ryan. We'll break that down. We'll talk about Chicago and Memphis as we continue here on today's edition of Locked On Jazz. What a great pleasure. Thanks so much to Ryan Smith for taking the time. Today's show also brought to you by our friends over at Built Bar. Are you looking for a delicious treat? Don't want the fat and calories? And you got to try Built Bar. With all their great flavors, healthy is actually tasty. You got to try Built. Seriously, they're so delicious. I'm telling you, they always have. What makes Built Bar so good? Well, 100% real chocolate. That's right. That's a great place to start. Churro, peanut butter brownie, coconut almond. Okay, I haven't tried the last two. They have nuts. I'm allergic to nuts. But I do travel with I had my orange skull on the road trip this trip. I had the coconut brownie on the road trip as well. 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and 17 grams of protein. You can go to Built.com. You can also go to your local Walmart or Sam's Club now. That's right. You can head to Walmart today, walk in the pharmacy section, grab yourself a box of Built Bars, pick up a 4-box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puff, or go to Sam's Club and get a 13-box of Built as well. Well, that was really pretty awesome to have Ryan Smith on the show. Can't be thankful enough for that. And so many things out of it. Obviously, jam session, that announcement's incredible. That's coming. Everyone's going to get to be a part of the All-Star weekend. And I think the celebration of Donovan on Tuesday is going to be awesome. Interesting comment he made that Donovan was amazing and professional throughout the whole process. There'd been a little murmur of otherwise, and that, Ryan, I think, quells that right there. So hopefully, in fact, Tuesday will be that celebration he's talking about. Good stories about Will Hardy having fun as well, and where Ryan feels the franchise is. So awesome to have Ryan on the show. Appreciate him very, very much. Let's jump into a little bit on this weekend. We lose both at Chicago and at Memphis. The Memphis one did not line up well. Even without Ja Morant playing, they had 2 days off. We were playing in less than 24 hours, so I think that was probably an unlikely outing for the Jazz. The night before, Jazz had a brilliant third quarter, and I will say I thought, there was a little slippage in the sense that the Jazz kind of, as things went wrong that night, they slumped their shoulders a little bit. They didn't seem as much as they had the bounce that they've had. But there are so many, even in 2 losses, so many things are impressive. First off, the Jazz got 38 shots at the rim against Chicago. That's a crazy number. And the offense just continues to churn along. The offensive rating in Chicago was a 119. The offensive rating against Memphis, I think, was a 114. Memphis, number 1 defense in the league at a 100. So to be able to have that with all those turnovers, and the live ball turnovers were a killer in the Memphis game for the Jazz. And to do that, some of our guys are really scuffling, right? Mike Conley has just not been the same since coming back from that knee injury. He's battling. He's showing kind of all of his leadership skills. He's showing what a fighter he is, but the fact is it's just not quite, he's not the same. He is in his 15th year in the league. He still handles the ball beautifully. I don't remember what his final numbers were against Memphis. Before that, he had 25 assists and just 2 turnovers, but he's shooting about 37% from the field and 33%. Malik Beasley, as someone said, is still on a glacier. He's shooting 28% from 3 since December 19th. Those are 2 of our most major vital pieces of this offense. And, they suddenly are both struggling. That's probably option 2 and option 3 and option 4, the offense behind Jordan and Lauri, and they're both struggling, and yet the offense is able to still proceed and work the way it is. I think it's pretty darn impressive. They did a nice job of keeping Chicago out of transition as well, which has been a major focus. So I think we're seeing a lot of things, and now you get this extended homestand. I expect a little bit of an uptick. Now, the only concern I have is that injury to Kelly Olynyk. That's the same ankle. I think there's a real chance we don't see Kelly Olynyk till, boy, I'd hate to say, All-Star game's a long way away. But I think we're a few weeks without Kelly. So most of this upcoming homestand, I think that's going to be a real problem. And we just don't move the ball as well when Kelly's not on the floor. So that's a real concern for me. I've said this whole time, I think Mike Conley and Kelly Olynyk are the 2 threads that hold the fabric together. And it feels to me that without Kelly, that could be a real problem. Back to one thing I mentioned in the Memphis game, Jazz got another 30 shots at the rim. So the offense is just diversifying nicely. In other words, it's still getting the threes. It's driving to the rim. They're getting the free throw line. Lowry's becoming a stud. The 49, we did. I actually may not have done a show on Friday because the 49, I had some other things going on. So I think that actually I may not have done a show that day. So we haven't really even talked about the 49. He's just growing up. It's just awesome to watch. He's completely become that guy on the team, which I think is the most interesting aspect of that game, is he scores 25 points where he misses 8 straight threes in that stretch because he did not, and yet he still keeps shooting. So it's abundantly clear that he's the guy on this team. And I think that's a major, major step to where this franchise is heading and going, and the pieces that we see of it are the fact that it's become totally clear that this is Lowry's team, and that Lauri is making those, is making the inroads to be the man, and his teammates know it, and the teammates are rooting for him and making the same plays. Everyone's walking around with their Lauri Markkanen sweatshirts the whole road trip, so it was a cool thing to see. We'll dig a little bit more into those 3 games because I realize I didn't do a Friday show, and then we will dig into getting ready for Donovan on Tuesday as well. Jazz Goo 1 and 2 on the road trip. Postcasts are available for you as well if you want more breakdown on them. Walker was really terrific against Memphis, which is a great sign. A lot of really good signs despite losing 2 out of 3. But I also think it was a road trip where, at Houston, at Chicago, at Memphis, that's probably a lose 2 out of 3. And now we're home for a while. We go to Minnesota for 1. We go to Portland for 1 between now and February 8th. That's it. And then we go on the pre-road trip to the pre-All-Star game road trip where we leave town so they can get ready for the road trip. And good stretch here for Will to kind of put a stamp back on the team, get practices in, and get this team going. I'm pretty excited to see what he does with it. That's all coming up as the Jazz get ready for Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland. We'll talk about tomorrow. Special thanks to Ryan Smith for being a part of the program today. This has been Locked On Jazz, your daily podcast in the Utah Jazz. Hopefully you tune in. Now go listen to Locked On Sports today.